Confidence isn't about acting bigger, it's about being solid. You've probably been told to just fake it till you make it, but that's not confidence, it's anxiety in disguise. Real confidence doesn't need a spotlight, it's internal, quiet, unshakable. It shows up in how you move, how you decide, how you handle tension without folding. And no, it's not something you're born with, it's built. If you're tired of second-guessing yourself or overthinking every interaction, good news, you don't need to change who you are. You just need to shift how you operate. There are 5 specific moves that rewire your posture, focus, and presence without forcing anything fake. This isn't motivational fluff. It's the framework confident people use daily, often without realizing it. You'll walk away with clear, actionable tools to stop waiting for confidence and start living it. Let's get into it. The foundation of confidence starts in your own head. Before you can show strength in the world, you have to stop sabotaging yourself internally. This isn't about being overly positive or reciting daily mantras. It's about precision in how you talk to yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes how you interpret every experience. Most people walk around with thoughts they never chose, leftover judgments, criticism from childhood, comparisons to others. These aren't facts, they're scripts, and they loop silently until challenged. The first move? Interrupt the script. The moment you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, I always mess this up, or I'll probably fail, stop. Interrupt it. Not with fake optimism, but with questions. Ask, is that true? Where did that thought come from? Would I say that to someone I care about? This shifts your brain from passive acceptance to active examination. Next, replace default narratives with crafted responses. Choose language that reinforces direction, not doubt. Say, I'm learning this now, instead of I'm bad at this. Say, this is difficult, but I can figure it out, instead of I can't do it. Subtle rewording leads to massive mental shifts. It moves you from judgment to ownership. Clarity is another tool. Be specific when you talk to yourself. Vague thoughts create vague outcomes. I need to do better becomes, I'll practice speaking up in the next meeting. Precision in language leads to progress in action. Another critical habit? Neutral observation. Not every thought deserves a reaction. You can acknowledge a negative emotion without obeying it. Say, I feel doubt right now, rather than I'm a failure. This separates who you are from what you're experiencing. Avoid rehearsing failure in your mind. Mental repetition builds belief, whether that belief serves you or not. Instead of playing worst-case scenarios, visualize calm action, not perfection, just composure. Imagine yourself handling challenges with poise, not panic. Your brain builds pathways from repetition. Feed it outcomes you want, not fears you dread. Also, watch your language out loud. The way you speak externally reinforces internal identity. If you always say, I'm terrible with names, I'm just bad under pressure, or I've never been confident, you're programming your limits. Speak the direction you're growing toward, not the version you're trying to leave behind. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about choosing words that align with effort and forward movement. Confidence comes from momentum, and your words either fuel it or kill it. And remember, doubt is not the enemy. Silence is. Everyone questions themselves. Confident people just refuse to stay quiet about it. They process, they adjust, and they move. You have to become your own coach, not your critic. Speak like someone who wants you to win, not by cheering yourself on blindly, but by giving yourself clear direction, space to adapt, and permission to build. The way you talk to yourself today is the energy you'll walk into the world with tomorrow. Choose that voice carefully. Before we continue and get into how small wins unlock real confidence, I've got one request. I'm building a channel for people serious about inner strength, and your support helps it grow. If this is hitting home, tap subscribe and stick around for what's next. Confidence isn't built in a single breakthrough. It's built in layers, through repeated intentional action that proves to yourself you can trust your effort. That's where small wins come in. People wait for some giant leap, some perfect moment where they feel ready. But real momentum starts with the decision to move, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Each step you take that aligns with growth sends a message to your brain. I do hard things. I follow through. These wins don't need to be impressive. They need to be consistent. Waking up at the time you said you would, finishing the workout even when motivation dips, having that uncomfortable conversation instead of avoiding it. These aren't just tasks, they're signals, and they quietly rewrite your identity. Why does this matter? Because confidence is cumulative. You don't flip a switch, you stack results. The more times you show up for yourself, the more evidence you have when doubt creeps in. It's hard to believe you're incapable when your actions keep proving otherwise. Small wins also reduce resistance. The brain resists massive change because it feels unsafe. But when progress feels doable, your nervous system stays calm. That calm builds clarity. You stop bracing for failure and start aiming for completion. One finished task beats 10 perfect ideas every time. Also, action interrupts rumination. Overthinking thrives in idleness. When you move your body, engage your focus, and direct your energy towards solving, you disrupt the loop. And that disruption frees mental space for decision-making, not self-criticism. Another benefit? Ownership. When the win is small and chosen, it's yours. No one can take credit for it. That autonomy reinforces internal strength. You're not waiting on permission. You're choosing progress, on your terms. Track your progress, not for comparison, but for recognition. Write it down. Note what you completed today that you once avoided. That record becomes your proof. You won't always feel the shift, but looking back, you'll see it. Big change doesn't start loud. It starts with small steps repeated without applause. Stack them, protect them, let them compound. And soon, you won't need to chase confidence. It will be chasing you. True confidence isn't loud. It's precise. The people who capture attention the fastest are often the ones who speak the least, not because they're shy, but because they know the value of presence over performance. Presence is a skill. It's the ability to enter a space and own your energy without seeking permission. Selective presence means knowing when to engage and when to observe. You don't have to insert yourself into every moment to be recognized. The real power is in restraint. When you speak rarely, but with intention, every word lands harder. People lean in, not because you force them, but because you make them curious. That curiosity is earned by contrast. In a world full of noise, stillness cuts through. Most people rush to fill silence. You don't. You use it. You let moments breathe. And by doing that, you show you're not rushed by insecurity. You're grounded in control. This doesn't mean being passive. It means being selective. You pick your moments like a strategist, not a performer. When someone asks for input, you give a direct answer. When tension rises, you stay composed. These moves communicate calm confidence, and calmness is magnetic. Your posture matters too. Stand tall, not stiff. Move with intention, not urgency. Make eye contact without overcommitting. These subtle signals send a message before you say anything. I know who I am, and I don't need approval to prove it. Selective presence also requires focus. Put your attention on the room, not on yourself. Notice people's behavior. Watch reactions. When you become the observer instead of the entertainer, you gain influence without needing attention. There's power in being unbothered. When you're not chasing recognition, you become more respected. Your detachment gives you freedom. You can walk into any space without adjusting your personality to fit in, because your energy already commands its own space. This is the presence people remember. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase, it doesn't flinch. It simply shows up, steady and sharp. Confidence dies when it depends on reaction. Many people live as mirrors, constantly reflecting what others expect. They adjust tone, opinion, and behavior based on feedback, often without realizing it. But the moment your sense of worth becomes negotiable, you lose control. Validation seeking hides in everyday moments. Over-explaining your choices, pausing to see if someone approves, shifting your approach to keep the peace. These behaviors don't make you more likable, they weaken your voice. The fix isn't to stop caring, it's to choose whose opinion actually matters. If everyone has equal influence over your self-image, you'll never feel stable. Confidence begins when you set a filter. Who has earned the right to shape your direction? This mindset turns you inward. Instead of constantly scanning for approval, you check alignment. Does this reflect my values? Replaces, will they like this? That shift creates freedom. Another principle, silence speaks. You don't need to defend every decision. You don't need to justify your presence. When you move without asking for permission, people take note. not because you demanded attention, but because you owned your lane. Building internal reference requires action. Start by doing things you're proud of when no one's watching. Let integrity replace applause. When your choices are rooted in principle, you don't need praise to feel solid. This also means setting boundaries. Say no without guilt, disagree without apology, walk away without performance. The more you protect your space, the less you'll rely on outside voices to define it. Confidence isn't about proving anything, it's about knowing. And knowing doesn't seek validation, it lives it. Growth isn't found in what's easy, it lives in what tests you. Most people avoid tension, thinking discomfort signals danger. But in reality, it's a catalyst. Friction introduces challenge, and challenge is where confidence is carved, not imagined. To build mental strength, you have to introduce controlled pressure. This doesn't mean chaos or reckless risks. It means selecting tasks that push your limits, slightly outside what's comfortable, but fully within your reach. That's where transformation begins. Choose something that makes your heart race a little. Speak when it's easier to stay silent. Tackle the project you've been postponing. Wake up earlier than your routine allows. These actions seem small in isolation, but they teach your mind something critical. Hesitation isn't final. The point isn't to suffer, it's to stretch. Each time you choose action over avoidance, you expand your edge. That edge becomes your new baseline. What once felt daunting begins to feel normal. That's evolution. Friction also sharpens focus. In easy situations, it's easy to drift, but when pressure increases, you concentrate. That intensity reveals what you're capable of under stress. You stop reacting and start responding. That transition is the beginning of true composure. Over time, this exposure builds familiarity with uncertainty. You no longer need everything to feel safe before you move. You act because you trust your ability to adapt. That's power. Another key, reflect after the challenge. Don't just move on. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How did I show up? What would I do differently? This reflection turns discomfort into insight, so you're not just pushing through, you're pulling lessons forward. Eventually, you stop fearing resistance. You start seeking it in measured doses. Not because you enjoy hardship, but because you understand what it gives you. It's no longer an obstacle. It's a mirror showing you where to grow. Start where you are. Choose one point of friction today and face it with intention. Confidence doesn't shout. It's felt in how you enter a room, how you handle tension, how you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's not something you're born with. It's something you earn through action. You've just learned 5 distinct tools. Each one gives you an edge. Together, they form a foundation. Not for performance, but for presence. You don't need to do more. You need to do what matters, with intention, with discipline, and with clarity. This isn't about changing overnight. It's about making one solid move each day. One choice that leans into discomfort, protects your standards, or rewrites how you speak to yourself. Stack enough of those, and people won't just notice. You'll start feeling it internally first. No gimmicks, no pretending, just steps that compound. Now I want to hear from you. What's one behavior you're ready to upgrade right now? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if this gave you a fresh perspective, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm building something real here, a space for those who move with quiet power and clear intent. This is your time. Start building the confidence that doesn't ask permission.